Thinking about adopting a dog? You think you're ready? It takes so much leadership, management, and discipline to raise dogs and get this kind of trust. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you a powerful framework that you can use to help form your decision, and then a bonus tool to really make sure you're choosing the right dog for you. So let's get into it. Hi, my name is Frank and welcome to PM Pause, Canine Project Management. I've been a project manager for over 10 years in technology, and I found a lot of success in bringing over that project manager mindset and those same strategies into helping me navigate the most difficult projects I ever had, and those were my dogs. Full stop, that's a fact. The first dog that I ever adopted was done very poorly. It was a very poor decision-making process, and I'll describe to you what that decision-making process was, or lack of process, and where people fall into that trap. Because here's the thing, I think in anything in life, when you make a poor decision, it just leads to unsuccessful outcomes, and it's just destined for failure. Because here's some facts. In 2024, last year, in the United States alone, 3 million dogs were surrendered to a shelter. 30% of those were given up by their owners. 70% were found as stray dogs. Here's another fact too, is that 1 in 2 dogs are guaranteed to have a behavioral issue. That's an over 55% risk factor, right? And it's not anything that the dog does. It's not their fault. It's not because they're animals or just dogs being dogs. It's not because of their breed, genetics, or anything like that. The reason why 1 in 2 dogs have behavioral issues is because of humans. It's a severe gap in leadership, management, and discipline. And there's also environmental and pack changes that have to be considered into that as well if you're not really managing it properly. And so here, let's get into it. So what I want to show you is, first of all, the POUR framework that most people, including myself, and this is a framework that I came up with based on my own personal experience, and then the more solid, powerful framework that's really going to form your decision, right? And then, as I said before, I'm going to show you a really cool tool that probably most people don't think about, and it's going to really help you choose the right dog for you and make sure the compatibility is there according to your lifestyle, your family, your environment, all that stuff. So let's go to the whiteboard. Let's check it out. Hey, if you're still with me at this point in the video, thank you so much. Please give a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So before we get into the most powerful framework, I'm going to show you the most probably common framework, and I put this together based on my own personal experience of how I adopted my first dog under what I call the glass triangle. I call it the glass triangle because it's very fragile, it can break, and most oftentimes it does break. And basically what this framework, this POUR framework, is adopting on appearance, emotions, fantasy, which leads to heartbreak. And if you could see here, this triangle is, it's got some gaps. It's very fragile, and most oftentimes it's destined for failure. So giving my personal experience, my real life, real world story. When I adopted my first dog, Huey, he was a 4-year-old American Staffordshire Terrier mix. And on that day, it was a Thursday. And I remember because my wife and I, we had a late lunch. We had a few drinks. And there was a humane society in the area where we lived at the time. Everything was in walking distance. So we went there on a whim, just to go look, just to like kill some time, right? And so as we're walking through, seeing the cats and the dogs, we come across Huey. My wife, just something resonated with her, with him. She's like, oh, look how cute he is. For me, I was looking at his paper, the paperwork on the door. They have like, all the dogs have like their own cool little comfortable space and room. And what stuck out to me was his name, Huey. I'm a big Huey Lewis and the News fan. And so there it goes, appearance, right? There it is. There's the initial appearance. There's the thing that's kind of attracting us. And oh, he's adorable. He's so cute. Oh my God, right? And then we get with the volunteer so we can meet him. At this point, we're not adopting this dog. I was like, we're just going to meet him, hang out with him, and then we're going home, right? And then of course, as you're meeting the dog, you're spending time with them, you're petting them, you're like checking them out, you're feeling the vibe and everything like that, and influencing. My wife is like, the total love and adorable factor went up. That's where the emotions come in, right? At this point, you're not thinking about training, food, long-term, all these things that, really you need to be seriously thinking about when you adopt a dog. So the emotions come in, right? I feel sorry for the dog. You have sympathy, right? It's adorable, right? All these emotions come up. This is adopting on impulse, which most people, I think a lot of people fall into this trap here. Appearance, emotions. And then as we're sitting at the desk, Huey's with us, we're looking at his paperwork, we completely trivializing all the red flags on his paperwork. History of aggression. Came in as a stray dog at 4 years old into Humane Society. Adopted once. Those previous owners lasted 6 months until they returned them due to those aggression issues. Leash reactivity, lunging at people, bad reputation of fighting dogs. Fantasy, we'll be able to work through those issues. He's not going to do that with us. It's fine. He's going to have a great home with us and have a different. Nope, that didn't happen. Just like clockwork, 6 months. He was fighting with our friends' dogs. The leash reactivity. He was so unpredictable. So unpredictable. He was great with people, awesome with people, great with kids. But he was just unpredictable on a leash and then fighting with other dogs and stuff. And that's where the heartbreak, that heartbreaking decision, right? The reality set in. This was a bad decision, or these behavioral issues are now impacting our lives, causing disruption. I think we need to return them to the shelter for a third time. And for me, just having that project manager mindset, but not only that, just on morals and principles, that I can't accept failure. And I was taught when you commit to something, no matter how hard it is, you got to follow through. And so to make a long story short, Huey never ended up going back to the shelter. All right. We had to put in the leadership, the management, the discipline. We had to do everything it took. And it was not easy for him to live a great quality of life, stable, confident. We rehabilitated him. We only had him for 3 years, 10 months, and 12 days until he passed away with spleen cancer. And, despite adopting him under this framework, I don't regret adopting him because he was a great teacher. We loved him so much and he gave us so many memories. Still with me? I really appreciate it. Give me a like and subscribe, please. Not many people do it. Let's get to the powerful framework now. This is what's called the iron triangle. It is probably the most important core principle in project management that we use to make sure that we have successful outcomes, that you don't get in a situation like I did with Huey where you have to have that heartbreaking question: do I need to return this dog to the shelter? Do I need to give him up? Do I need to rehome him? Okay, so the iron triangle, right? It's not by accident, right? That was called the iron triangle because this is a really strong, solid shape force that as long as you implement it right, it's unbreakable. You have scope, you have time, and you have cost. So no longer appearance, emotion, fantasy, and heartbreak, right? You have scope, time, cost, and at the center of this is quality, okay? So for example, in my line of work as a project manager, common scenario, common expectation from leadership, from the executives. We want it done fast, time, and we want it done cheap, cost. Now, you don't have to be a project manager to understand this. You don't need to be certified. It doesn't have to be your line of work. If somebody came up to you on this model, we want it done fast and cheap, time and cost, what's the first thing you're going to look at to consider? That's right, scope, right? And so let's put this into dog adoption. So we're going to start with time. That's the first thing you're going to look at, right? When you see that puppy or you're thinking about it, you're seeking around a rescue, get out of that emotional state, get out of like, okay, yeah, he's cute, whatever. We're going to get out of that. Immediately think about time. How many hours, days, months, years are you going to put into being able to train them? Exercise, walks, behavioral issues, when those start to come about, right? due to life catching up with you, with work, your social life, whatever you got going on that puts the dog, takes it back seat, right? How much time are you realistically going to be able to put in all that? Because that's a very critical for a dog, is exercise, the training, the discipline, mental stimulation. So time is the first thing you should always consider, okay? That's going to determine your scope of the dog, right? Realistically, this is where you got to be really honest with yourself. Like how physically active are you? Are you someone that just likes to kick it on the couch, right? Because if you like kicking it on the couch most of the time and you're at home, you do not get a German Shepherd or a Hungarian Vizsla or a Pit Bull or a Malinois. You don't get any of those high-powered breeds, right? You don't get that, and I get it. Oh, they look cool, they're awesome. But if you're one of those people that are very sedentary, you just love staying home and sitting on the couch, please don't get any of those dogs. You need to have a dog that you're more compatible with. So that's the scope of the dog. Is it a high energy breed? Is it a chill older rescue? Is it something low maintenance? I'm going to give you some real world dogs that I've had, or people that I've known that had. My mom, right? My mom had, and she was a lot older, in her late 60s. She had a Bichon Frise, and she had a teacup Chihuahua. Very little maintenance. She never trained them. She never walked them because she never left the house. They got enough exercise just running around the house. When I would go visit her 1 to 2 times a week, I would walk the Dolly, the Bichon Frise. Petunia didn't need to be walked. Right? She just loves being, next to the owners. Sometimes they're a little too possessive and got, aggressive, but that's what I'm talking about, right? A low maintenance dog. Huey, my first dog, he was a 4-year-old American Staffordshire Terrier mix. About a half-hour walk, he was good. That dog was so chill. He actually enjoyed just kicking it on the couch, laying in his bed, being with humans. He had a bad leg. I don't know what happened to him. He might have got hit by a car, or somebody might have really kicked him, but his leg, his bones there were kind of dislodged and broken. He had atrophy on that leg, so he couldn't go for very long walks. So chill older rescue, that could be a very low maintenance. Of course, he had his aggression issues that we had to work through, right? High energy dog, any kind of high energy dog. German Shepherd, I've had a German Shepherd before. My Hungarian Vizsla, that is serious, right? 2 hours minimum for Homer, right? 2 hours, 5 days per week is the minimum. He needs a lot of exercise, mental stimulation. I let him track rabbits. We do, the training had to be more advanced, right? Not just sit, stay, lay down, none of that stuff. No, I had to up the training a little bit to just engage his mind, because I'm not a hunter. That's a working dog. He's a hunting dog. So you have to fill in those gaps. If you're, for a hunting dog, you need to make sure you fill that, or they go crazy. They get a lot of anxiety, right? They can lash out, which I've had to deal with. And I think probably the thing that's going to really, really set the reality in, and probably just make you not want to adopt a dog at all, is the cost, right? The cost is where it's going to your reality is going to set in. The vet bills, the food, the toys, the treats, the accessories, the professional training, which I would highly recommend, right? I trained Homer a lot, but I relied on professional training, which was not cheap, to crate train him, to heel, and then some more advanced stuff that they helped me with too. Boarding, when you travel, right? You have somebody that's going to take care of them, or you're going to have to put them in a place where you're going to have to pay for boarding, right? If you're somebody that's always working, you're not home, a dog walker. So the bills alone, just the vet bills alone, right? It's like a few thousand per year, easy, just on the vet bills alone, right? And so when you consider scope, time, cost, right? Quality is the most essential thing, the quality of life. And so when you balance these perfectly, scope, time, cost, and you're really being honest with yourself, of your lifestyle, your family, your environment. If you live in a small apartment and you don't have a backyard, you really have to think about all that stuff to determine the type of dog that you're going to get, to make sure that they have a great quality of life. And so now let's get to the bonus tool that I'm going to show you to really help you find the dog that's right for you. It's a cool, probably, not many people know about it. So let's go check it out. So the American Kennel Club has a breed selector to put you with the most compatible dog depending on your lifestyle and other parameters. And so this is going to be fun. I'm going to walk you through this. It's a cool tool. And I'm actually going to put my realistic parameters in here to see if like a Hungarian Vizsla actually comes up. So let's go through this. So find the best dog breed for you. All right, let's go. All right. Select all that apply. Highly trainable, yes, easily trainable. You have these different options, less trainable, maybe stubborn. So we want one that's highly trainable. That's one I want for sure. How energetic would you like your dog to be? Very high energetic, 60 to 120 minutes or 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now with Homer. So I'm like very high. I'm very active. I love to go walking. We go hiking and stuff like that. So I'm in the very high. This is where you got to be honest with yourself. All right, how much coach shitting? High shitting doesn't bother me. Let's see, how frequently can you care for your dog's grooming? I'm like monthly. How much barking are there? Some barking, some barking. What size dog do you want? I'm definitely in the medium. Can you do multiple? Yeah, so medium, large. You can select multiple here to give you more choices that come up. More about you. As an adult, have you ever owned a dog? Yes. Do you have children? Yes. I have children. They are under the age of 10. Do you have any other animals at home? No. What is your home like? Apartment, house with a small yard? Luckily, I have a house with a big yard. How much time do you spend with the dog each day? I'm going to say, because I work 40 hours a week, we work, realistically, we're looking at 1 to 5 hours a day. What's your activity level? Adventure, walks around. I'm an adventure lover. Love hiking. I do walk around the neighborhood. I like getting out. We have a lot of great hiking trails and places around here. Do you want a low allergen dog? I'm going to say no preference. All right. And so there it is. What is the more important to you? Choose the qualities of the ideal dog in order. Oh, okay. Trainability, energy level, shedding level, grooming. Yeah. I'll probably put size up here a little bit third. So that's cool. It asks you to rank what's most important to you, right? Now we're going to see the results. Let's see if Homie comes up. Let's see if an Hungarian Vizsla actually makes it to the list, and let's see what's my #1 dog that they recommend for me. You don't have to sign up for an email for this. You can say, no thanks, just the results, please. So, cool. Yeah! Look at that! A Vizsla! No, you see? This thing's right. It even looks like Homer. Holy crap. Let's see, highly trainable. Yep. Average shedding. Not a match. It tells you right here, like, what's match, what doesn't match. Let's see what my other top dogs are. A white-haired pointing griffin. That's cool. It's a cool looking boy or a girl. All right. A Weimaraner. Is it Weimaraner or Weimaraner? Is it Weimaraner? Weimaraner. I can never say that dog's name. A flat-coated retriever. Those look cool. That's awesome. But that's awesome. Look at that. #1, Vizsla. And then it tells you here, like, right, average shedding is fine, not a match every day, not a match, right? It has to be groomed every day. It's going to frequently bark. Iron triangle. Use the iron triangle to form your decision-making process. Don't use the glass triangle. Don't fall into that trap, okay? Use the iron triangle to really understand the scope, the time, and I guarantee you the cost is going to be the deal breaker, especially in this economy right now. And then, as an enhancement, please use this tool, the American Kennel Club Breed Selector. It nailed it. It gave me Vizsla as the #1 top dog based on my realistic parameters and my lifestyle. It was awesome. So hey, if you're still here at this point in the video, please like and subscribe. My name is Frank. This is PM Paws, Canine Project Management. Until next time, take care of your dogs, love them, wish you all the best.